They say you should never judge a book by its cover. But in this courtroom, someone did, and they lived to regret it. The small naval courtroom smelled of polished oak and stale coffee. Tension hung heavy in the air. In the back row, Lieutenant Commander James Harlan leaned back in his seat, arms crossed, a smirk playing on his face. He nudged his buddy beside him and nodded toward the defendant, a tall, composed black man in a modest charcoal suit. "Look at this guy," Harlan whispered with a chuckle. "Probably picked up for stealing gear or faking credentials. They'll slap cuffs on him by noon." His friend gave a half-hearted laugh, eyes darting away, uncomfortable. The defendant said nothing. He stood tall. His face was unreadable. But if you looked closely, you'd see something in his eyes. Not fear, not anger, but patience. The kind born of decades of holding back when others expected you to explode. The room quieted. The judge entered. Everyone stood, then sat. The hearing began. The hearing wasn't criminal. It was an internal inquiry. Someone had breached high-level naval intelligence systems during a joint operation with the CIA. A man had come forward to discuss protocol breakdowns, corruption, and security vulnerabilities. That man was a defendant. The court-appointed panel, mostly older white men in uniform, regarded him with casual skepticism, the kind that comes not from facts, but from upbringing, bias, and power unchecked. Harlan scoffed as the defendant introduced himself plainly as Michael Trent. "No rank? No title," Harlan muttered. "Figures." When Trent spoke, the courtroom shifted. He didn't fumble. He didn't raise his voice. His tone was steady, his words precise. He referenced satellite recon codes, internal audit protocols, CIA signal intercepts. His knowledge ran deep, too deep for an outsider. Murmurs began. One panel member asked, "Mr. Trent, where did you receive this level of clearance?" Trent paused, then reached into a leather folder and produced a single card. It was dark blue, embossed, gold trim. The panel member read it and turned pale. The card read, "Michael J. Trent, Director, Central Intelligence Agency." A silence felt like a dropped curtain. Even Harlan's smirk vanished. The judge leaned forward. "Director Trent, forgive us. We were under the impression." Trent raised a hand. "No need. I'm often underestimated. Comes with the job. And the skin." He let that settle. Harlan shrank back into his seat, the weight of realization pressing into his chest. He had laughed at the director of the CIA. He had assumed, based on race, on demeanor, on clothes. Not once had he considered who the man really was, or what he represented. Trent continued. "This inquiry isn't about titles. It's about integrity. A mole slipped through both our agencies because someone ignored protocol, because someone assumed certain individuals didn't need watching." He looked directly at Harlan. "Assumptions. That's how national security fails." The panel voted to enact major reforms. Heads rolled. Harlan was reassigned to desk duty pending further review. The room had changed. The atmosphere had changed. A storm had passed through. Calm, deliberate, unstoppable. As Trent exited the courtroom, he passed by Harlan. He paused. "Next time," he said quietly, "look beyond the surface. The country needs more than uniforms and arrogance." Harlan swallowed hard. "Yes, sir." Trent gave a nod. Not a superiority, but a warning. Racism doesn't always shout. Sometimes it whispers in jokes, in sideways glances, in assumptions about who belongs and who doesn't. But the truth, the real truth, doesn't care what color your skin is. It stands tall. And sometimes, when you least expect it, it walks into the room wearing a suit, not a uniform, and reminds you who's really in charge.